считаю, что Мадалена самый сложный соперник в Ислам Макхачеве. Мое мнение. Ни Чарльз, никто. Ни один из этих бойцов...
И даже не Илья, если бы это бой был бы.
Ну, мое личное мнение, во-первых, Мадалена 2 раза больше, чем...
Ну, можем сразу все карты раскрывать, потому что наши соперники тоже нас слушают. Но скажу так, что я давно слежу за Мадаленой. Он как боец очень интересный. Тогда, конечно, у меня даже в голове не было насчет боя Ислама и Мадалены, но судя по его скиллам, по его технике, по его ударам.
He is the number one pound for pound. If he were not able to be welterweight champion, that would be a significant hit to his case to being the number one pound for pound, right? The expectation is like, if you're the number one pound for pound, you should be able to move up and get that belt. So I think it makes a lot of sense to be the favorite.
JDM gonna have a case for fighter of the year if he...
UFC legend Khabib Nurmagomedov recently shared his thoughts, stating that Islam Makhachev faces only 3 real threats in the division: Jack Della Maddalena, Shavkat Rakhmonov, and Belal Muhammad. According to Khabib, these are the only fighters who pose a genuine danger to the champion's reign. UFC legend Khabib Nurmagomedov recently weighed in on the competition facing Islam Makhachev, saying that the lightweight champion has only 3 true threats in the division: Jack Della Maddalena, Shavkat Rakhmonov, and Belal Muhammad. In Khabib's view, these are the only fighters capable of posing a serious challenge to Makhachev's reign.
Don't wrestle, but he was defending well, and he puts damage on.
Off rip.
Starts putting damage on. And he can box.
So how do you see that fight with him and Islam? Does he have the ability to beat a guy like Islam?
He'll get takedown attempts coming at him very early. This time. The last fight, he didn't have to deal with that when he was fresh. If Islam can start to pressure him early and take him down early, or even just make him wrestle, he might struggle. I don't know that he's ever felt anything like he's going to feel, because it's not going to be double legs and single leg with Islam. It's going to be him playing with his feet, tripping him, moving around on the octagon side, doing things that he don't recognize as freely.
But she didn't answer the question.
The problem is, like, I can only give you that because I can't truly make a prediction.
Chael Sonnen pointed out that Khabib Nurmagomedov sees only 3 fighters as genuine threats to Islam Makhachev, true adversaries who could potentially defeat him. Sonnen emphasized that Khabib used the word threats, not just tough fights. Everyone else, including Ian Gary and Sean Brady, was dismissed by Khabib as less significant compared to those 3 challengers.
Della Maddalena, Shavkat Rakhmonov, and Belal Muhammad are said to be the 3 biggest threats and the only 3 current threats to Islam. That is from Coach Khabib. Coach Khabib even went a step further. He was running through the roster. He said that Ian Gary is not a legitimate threat, and neither is Sean Brady. All right, now the statement is complete. I want you to look at that.
Khabib Nurmagomedov identified 3 specific welterweights who could pose serious challenges for Islam Makhachev. Earlier this summer, Makhachev vacated his UFC lightweight title to move up to welterweight, where he is expected to face Jack Della Maddalena by the end of the year.
Проверку прошел 9-0 UFC чемпион. У него та команда, которая готовила Волконовского на Ислама. Вот это все вместе, если сопоставить, я вижу, что в нем очень грозный соперник.
Вот теперь скажи, не будем за спину смотреть Мадалена, но если бы не было Мадалены, то как дальше выглядит ситуация в 77? Кто может оказаться напротив Ислама в клетке? И там 2 слова о каждом из них.
Я вижу 77 Шавката как соперник.
Islam Makhachev set the lightweight record for future title defenses when he submitted Ronaldo Jacare Souza at UFC 311, marking his 4th defense. Now that he has moved up to the welterweight division, his mentor, Khabib Nurmagomedov, still believes Makhachev will dominate the top fighters. However, Khabib has specific concerns about a few opponents. In a recent interview, he emphasized that Shavkat Rakhmonov deserves respect and poses a real risk in the welterweight division. In contrast, Khabib does not view fighters like Belal Muhammad or Ian Gary as serious threats. Khabib also commented on Sean Brady, noting that stylistically, he is too easy for Makhachev. He explained that Islam would outstrike Brady, and given their grappling skills, would easily control him on the ground. "I don't view Brady as a threat," Khabib said. "He's strong, he's a good fighter, but I just don't see it." Regarding Jack Della Maddalena, Khabib sees him as a more legitimate challenge, with the champion needing to be adequately prepared for such opponents. Chael Sonnen highlighted the surprising nature of Khabib's assessment, particularly his dismissal of Sean Brady. Sonnen pointed out that Brady is known for taking everyone down, has never been taken down himself, and holds a better record than Islam, making a potential matchup very intriguing. Yet, according to Khabib, Brady belongs in the interesting category rather than the threat category.
I believe that Blahal and Islam know who would win that match. I believe that there were workouts, and I seem to remember when Blahal was champion, there was a statement being made by Islam out of respect to that bond that was formed that said he would not fight Blahal. I seem to remember when Blahal was getting ready to fight Jack, Islam wanted to move up to 170, but he and Khabib both said, we're going to wait before we officially make that statement, and we're going to see what happens with Blahal versus Jack, which I believe we all interpreted to mean if Jack wins, I'll slide up. If Blahal doesn't, I'm going to stay here because we...
Chael Sonnen noted that there has been a lot of talk about Sean Brady potentially fighting Ian Gary next. Khabib Nurmagomedov agreed with this possibility, but mentioned that Gary seems to be holding out from the matchup. Sonnen usually criticizes fighters for holding out, but he understands Gary's situation in this case. Gary has already done a lot of heavy lifting in his career, and from a career perspective, Brady might benefit more from the fight than Gary would. Islam Makhachev shared that his vision of the ultimate UFC fighter is inspired by Khabib Nurmagomedov. He explained that he aims to adopt Khabib's approach of controlling space in the cage with humility and discipline. For Makhachev, success is not just about winning fights. He wants to build a lasting legacy in the sport, following the example Khabib set with his own career.
Islam, some people talk about, it's not fair that everyone puts pressure on you to be the next Khabib. I want to ask you, what do you think about that? Do you like that people keep saying that? Or do you like, he's Khabib, I'm Islam, let me have my own career?
If somebody say I'm like Islam, like almost same like Khabib, I agree with this. I want to be like Khabib, He's great man, He's champion. He have a lot of money now, he have everything now, but he's still humble.
Khabib Nurmagomedov praised Islam Makhachev's skill set, highlighting his technique, striking, and ability to defend against wrestlers. He noted that Makhachev has faced elite wrestlers like Ramazan Magomedov, Gilbert Burns, and Bilal Muhammad, as well as strikers and physically strong opponents such as Kevin Holland, and has successfully passed every test. Khabib also emphasized that Makhachev trains with top teams, including those that prepared Alexander Volkanovski. Additionally, Khabib recently announced that Islam Makhachev will face Jack Della Maddalena at Madison Square Garden in New York City. This highly anticipated matchup will serve as the main event of UFC 322 in November 2025, with the UFC having the authority to impose significant fines if necessary.
Do you guys think Khabib is going to get banned for leaking this news, for ruining the surprise? Because he seemed like a bit of a renegade when he broke the news to the crowd. Khabib was in the tri-state area because this fight happened in Atlantic City, and he did drop the nugget that it appears as though JDM versus Islam is going to be at Madison Square Garden. Who told you that first? Who told you that first? Every single one of the fights that I told you about on this program have fallen in the slots. Pereira versus Ankalaev to October the 4th, Aspinall against Cyril on October 25th, and JDM versus Islam in New York City. That's the fight.
Khabib Nurmagomedov shared this during a fan Q&A session in New York, explaining that a deal had been made for Islam Makhachev to fight at Madison Square Garden, and the UFC agreed. Makhachev gave up his lightweight title to pursue the welterweight division, aiming to become a two-division champion. His upcoming fight against Jack Della Maddalena, the welterweight champion, represents the first major step toward that goal.
It's JDM.
It is also JDM, of course.
I love that fight.
Islam is one of the biggest stars of the promotion.
Islam moving up to 170.
Ooh. Are we gonna
fight?
Skip the watch party, be in the building for it?
Hell yeah. In case you missed it, here's you guys think Khabib is gonna get banned for leaking this news, for ruining the surprise? because he seemed like a bit of a renegade when he broke the news to the crowd. Here it is, in case you missed it.
He promised us. Be quiet, please. I think the manager, he's now upset because I give information, like. But this is his deal with UFC. I don't deal with UFC. This is his problem. But we have deal with them. He's gonna fight in Madison Square Garden.
The hype for Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena is enormous, and the betting odds have been wild. While Jack is known for being tough, explosive, and a nightmare for any opponent, Islam is widely regarded as the favorite. His grappling, experience, and striking precision give him the edge, turning this matchup into a classic battle of skill versus power. Fans around the world are eagerly waiting to see if Islam can assert his dominance over Della Maddalena.
Who's the favorite going into that one?
It's a good question, actually.
Islam.
It's got to be Islam.
You think so? Islam moving up to 170.
Yeah, I would
Close
imagine.
though, no?
The pound for pound number one?
I
Yeah,
don't think it will be.
he'll be-
I don't think it will be close.
You don't think it will be close?
Minus 300 or something.
250, 300.
Let's see.
If JDM ices Islam,
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
it's gonna be tough.
All right. Let's just have him defend the belt first. Like we're talking.
Meanwhile, Islam Makhachev's manager, Ali Abdelaziz, confirmed that his next fight will be against Jack Della Maddalena. He emphasized that this is the best matchup for Islam at the moment, saying, "We have a deal, and we're looking forward to it sometime this year, possibly at Madison Square Garden in November."
Of Islam. Are we any closer to getting an update on this fight happening in November? Like from everything that you're working on right now, is that still the likely time frame for this JDM fight, Madison Square Garden?
Listen, at the end of the day, the fight is done, but like I always respectful to the promotion. It's their job. They didn't announce the fight. But I know this by end of the year, Australia gonna have no.
Ali Abdelaziz also suggested that there could be a shortage of UFC champions in Australia by the end of the year. He noted that Alexander Volkanovski isn't going anywhere and will likely continue winning. But the matchup between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena presents a completely different challenge. According to Abdelaziz, Della Maddalena is tough, experienced, and highly respected, capable of giving Islam a legitimate test. Either way, he said, it's a fight where anything is possible. Ali Abdelaziz stated that a fight between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria is not possible at this time. He explained that matchmaking must make sense in terms of divisional timelines and fighter readiness, and currently, this matchup does not fit those criteria.
Going to happen. Are we any closer to potentially seeing him get that title shot with Ilia Topuria? Is he still a likely candidate from everything that you're hearing?
Nothing changed. Justin is sticking to his gun. I support him 100%. You know, it's the right thing to do to give him a title fight. You know, listen, if he said, I'm going to give Arman a title fight before Justin, I said, okay, I agree. He's number one. He's on a crazy winning streak. But you can't tell me he's going to give anyone above Justin outside Arman. And it looks like Arman is maybe going to fight Hooker. And I think the right thing to do, the body of work Justin Gaethje had done for the UFC, I think the least you can do for him, give him a title shot against the Jaguar.
Ali Abdelaziz also mentioned that a fight between Islam Makhachev and Khamzat Chimaev is highly unlikely. He explained that Chimaev still has contenders to face within the middleweight division, and combined with the size differences and their personal relationship, the matchup is currently impractical. Ali Abdelaziz elaborated on Khamzat Chimaev, describing him as a significant threat to the UFC as a whole. He believes Chimaev is one of the most dangerous fighters in the sport today, particularly in the middleweight division, due to his size, wrestling, and relentless pressure. According to Abdelaziz, Chimaev is currently one of the most formidable competitors in MMA.
You know what's interesting as well? Khamzat said that he'd be interested to potentially move back down to welterweight. And obviously Islam's moving up to welterweight. He's having this blockbuster fight with JDM. And of course, you guys are focused on JDM. But have you thought about how big a Islam Khamzat fight could potentially be? Super fight down the line, that would be massive.
This fight, this will never happen. First of all, Khamzat is too big. I don't think he can ever make welterweight. And in a way, like these guys, like they know each other. I don't think, you know, they're from the same region. And I honestly, these fights make absolutely no sense. You know, I think if Khamzat go up and want to fight as light heavyweight, maybe.
Chael Sonnen explained that Ian Gary is generally a showman who has often leveraged storylines to his advantage. While he hasn't relied on them as much recently, Gary was doing so again, which Sonnen sees as a warning sign. In the past, some of Gary's antics, like the puppy belly flops, helped generate media attention and branding opportunities. Now that the momentum has calmed, Sonnen emphasized that Gary is still a much bigger star than Sean Brady and has accomplished a lot in terms of career development. If both fighters are unhappy with matchmaking, Sonnen believes Gary is far more likely to be frustrated, as he has significantly more leverage and influence than Brady.
One of the guys that's done a pretty good job of letting us know where he wants to go, and letting us know where to go will avoid the inevitable of having to tell you where he doesn't want to go. Right? The whole "I want to fight this guy" is a clouded effort to never have to say, "I don't want to fight this group of guys." Fair game. It's the way it's done. I'm just sharing for you. It's not being done that way. Gary is a much bigger star than Brady.
The stage is set for Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena, a fight that promises fireworks in the welterweight division. On one side, Islam brings size, skill, and experience, making him a grappler capable of dominating nearly anyone. On the other, JDM is an explosive striker with heart and dangerous power, capable of ending the fight in seconds. This matchup is a classic clash of styles, with the potential to reinvigorate the division. Fans are left wondering, will Islam impose his game plan? Or can JDM make a statement with his striking and relentless aggression? Predictions are pouring in, as everyone anticipates this epic battle. For more fight breakdowns, insider coverage, and UFC updates, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. You'll be at the heart of every knockout, submission, and headline moment.